I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, August 5th Stanley County Board of Education meeting. We thank you all for your attendance tonight. We welcome you. We welcome those who are joining us live stream. The first thing on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The agenda is approved. Next, we have the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Ms. Carla Poplar.
If you would bow your heads with me for just a moment, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the rain. I know farmers in our area needed it, even though it's flooding a little bit. We still appreciate that we got some. Please be with us as we go through our meeting tonight and help us to make sound decisions for our county and our students and our staff. Please be with our students as they get ready to start back to school next week. And we hope that they have a wonderful school year. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Next, we have a recognition. Dr. Dennis.
Come front and center, Miss Milton. She loves being recognized when she does good stuff. I want you to please join us in celebrating Miss Mandy Melding. She has been named the Career and Technical Education Administrator of the Year for the Southwest Region by the North Carolina Association for Career and Technical Education. Ms. Melton has served Stanley County Schools for an incredible 26 years while making a lasting impact on our students, schools, and our CTE program. We are so proud of this well-deserved recognition and grateful for her leadership, passion, and commitment to success. And I did stop by her meeting today that she had, and there were a lot of great things that you guys were talking about, especially with all the stuff that happened with skills and on the state and national level. And we just can't thank you enough for everything you've done for our school system and our program and our students.
Thank you.
They don't let me out here, y'all. Thank y'all. I'm waiting for y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Okay, it's going down the idiot. Okay, good.
Thank you, Ms. Melton, for what you do. I mean, we really owe where our CTE program is to you, and we just thank you for all the work that you put into that. Thank you so much. Next, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel matters under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A6. Student matters, North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A1. And attorney-client matters under North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3.
Motion to go into close for the statutes listed.
A motion from Ms. Poplin. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. We're in closed session.
I'm Catherine Hinkle Russell. I work at Central Elementary School in the EC department. I'm an instructional assistant. I do not teach because I enjoy leaving at 2:30. Before I explain why I'm here, I'd like to read a couple of quotes for you guys. Jeff Miller said, "The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude." John F. Kennedy said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." I'm not only an advocate for our kids, our EC kids, I'm also an advocate for others in the community. I have a big heart and passion to serve veterans. I've been serving veterans in multiple capacities for over a decade now. Also a volunteer over at Animal Protective Services, and those are just like my top three. My passion to serve now is even more fueled because my son serves in the U.S. Navy, and when he's a veteran, I don't want him to go not one day without him being thanked for his service in one way, shape, or form. It's very, very important to me that our community kind of brings back an awareness to the importance of showing our veterans gratitude. And it starts with our kids. Our kids, if they're not going to get at home, they're already starting a little bit with the Pledge of Allegiance at school, but I don't know how many of our kids really understand why they're pledging allegiance to our flag and why they're able to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I'm here because I've started what I'd like to call, I guess, a movement, because it's not a club or anything like that. I call this movement Gratitude for Veterans Services. I have a Facebook, and you guys have the paper. The Veterans Day paper has the picture of the little boy. That's the picture that's on the Facebook as well. It takes little to no money to show veterans appreciation. Just a simple thank you for your service and a handshake is a simple act that can go a very long way, and that's something simple to teach your children. Something simple that teachers, and God bless Dr. Johnson, he is used to me trying to bring my causes into the school. You can build this into your lesson plans. You can do writing, you can do reading. He's really great about it. As long as he knows that, it's going to serve the community for a good purpose, he's all about it. So, I love that man. What I'm doing currently, and you guys had this paper too, an initiative
Russell.
yes.
Your 3 minutes is up. Do you have information that you could leave, maybe with Ms. Hedrick over to the
Yes,
side?
y'all have the initiative by Walmart.
Okay.
You have and I know you guys have already looked at this, but the parade, I'm trying to get more people to the parade, at the parade, and one of the things I'm doing is the art. I've invited the Stanley County Schools art teachers to do the competition. That's on there. I'm encouraging any of the schools, clubs, singers, bands, cheerleaders, whatever, to be a part of it.
Thank you. I think each board member does have the colored print-offs
Yeah,
at your spot.
yes.
So if that has your additional information.
And Ms.
Thank you,
Whitaker,
Ms.
I don't know if this is a question for her or more or less Mr. Plummer. I think I know the answer, but this has been distributed to all our art departments and teachers and stuff.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much,
They
Ms.
should have
Russell.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a question real quick, too.
Okay.
I'm allowed to ask her to elaborate,
Yes,
right?
you are.
What's your son doing in the Navy?
He's a logistics specialist. He's right now they just got back from the Middle East and they're enjoying some time in Hawaii, but he's at the Naval Air Base in Lemoore, California.
Thank him for his service.
I'd be glad to. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have William Schaefer.
Well, it gives me no pleasure in having to articulate the thoughts of a growing number of people in Stanley County concerning their displeasure in how this school board governs in the county. But the people of Stanley County are increasingly beginning to understand what the efforts of this school board, or more accurately, what the objectives of specific members of the school board are, and what they're willing to do to achieve their ends. Increasingly, the people are finding the actions and behaviors of this board unacceptable. This board has endeavored to affect their objectives and have not represented the people of Stanley County with any kind of integrity. The Stanley County School Board has withheld information from the people, manipulated processes, and violated school board policies to achieve their ends while silencing the people by withholding of information, the manipulation of processes, and the removal of the public's right to know and their right to have input, and the act of real-time editing of public record by turning mics off for speakers who go over the talking time by a few seconds. With regard to the issue of school consolidation, this board would continue to violate policy after policy where it would achieve their objectives, knowing full well that the people of Stanley County reject the effort of consolidation. Furthermore, when the people have had an opportunity to speak to the already in motion and already decided upon consolidation efforts of this board, board members choose to chastise and berate the people for speaking their minds about what this board is doing and what the people have decided that they want for their schools. Specific members of this board have worked against other elected board members by withholding information from them until the last possible minute, or sometimes withholding information altogether, and making decisions as a kind of tyrannical clique. The net result being that this monarch majority is able to bypass legitimate representation of the people and affect their objectives without benefit of debate and without the people's knowledge or vocal input. Among the many violations committed by this board, the most recent violations are Policy 1010, Policy 2321, Policy 2335, Policy 2330, and Policy 2000, Policy 2340. All of these policies are predicated and founded upon by North Carolina state statute, the law, and willfully violating these policies to further their objectives with regard to our education system in the endeavor to consolidate our schools against the repeated wishes of the people of Stanley County, treating the people as an afterthought and as an annoyance to this board, we have come to the conclusion that the people have no confidence that the board leadership will represent the people with integrity. I therefore call upon this Stanley County School Board to hold a vote of no confidence in Robin Whitaker, as she deserves to be removed as school board chair in Stanley County.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Next on our agenda is a department presentation. Mr. Keith Benton.
Good afternoon. How are y'all? If you, we prepared a PowerPoint with you for this afternoon, well, for tonight, for you to look at some of the projects that we completed over the summer, where some of the money was spent, and my secretary helped me put this together, and we'll run through it real quick. So if you got any questions, just ask me when we get around to it. Chiller replacement at Richfield went off good. Everything's intact. We're running, operational. That one, it was a breeze. So there was a pretty significant amount of money spent right there. We'll go to the next one, West Stanley High. So we completed their roof there finally, got it done. And as we finished it, then we went to moving inside, and you'll see some more slides here in just a minute to remediate some of the damage that it created over the years of leaking. Here we did some work out at the baseball field where there was some bleachers area where they had set their bleacher pads, and it had started rotting and deteriorating, so we went in, we replaced the platforms to where it's safer now, and as well as to where they get to go on top of their press box and set up there. We put handrails up and established it to keep people from falling up there. Indy. There we, so Indy, we have finally finished the addition, and we have our CO in hand, so everything's good to go for the kids. And it opened up. Teachers and staff, they love it. We're going to have a few things we have to work through as we balance the air conditioning systems and stuff like that once we start getting some kids in there. So we'll have those issues we have to deal with, but they're minor. We can control them from off-site. Here's Oakboro. So Oakboro, we have 99% completed Oakboro. The only thing is we have some window tinting that has to go on the front, no big deal. Access control got installed today. So we spent a lot of time there, and the guy's done a very good job. The contractor was, they worked 7 days a week to get this job open for us for the kids, and they had to take every opportunity they could to do it. Indy, we had a big ADA project that we went on there. They utilize this space, this blacktop area between the school and my office daily when the weather's permitting. But so we installed them an asphalt pathway to where they can walk through there and make it more ADA accessible. There's the interior of the West Stanley High. We repainted the entire gym, repainted the ceiling from all the years of it leaking. There was multiple spots on the Tecnam board to where it had turned brown from the roof leaking through it. And then, of course, you see what we did to the gym floor after all the years of it leaking on the gym floor. Gym floor had several areas that was cut real bad, and so we re-sanded them off, went in, we redid the floor from looks like day one. So we did some stain work, some paint work, put their logo in it, and it brought back to life. Staff loves it. So that's a good thing. Kids absolutely love it. They've been in a few, and they're wow. They didn't realize that they did ask the question of, did we change the lights? No, we didn't. That was just by changing the floor, putting a water-based ceiling on the floor instead of oil-based, and by painting the walls light, and it brightened it up so much more. Media Center at North Stanley High School. So if any of y'all have been in that Media Center, some of you have with me over the past year, and you know the condition of the carpet that was in that area. So we went in, we tore it all out, and we put LVP down. It's more of a softer finish. It's easier to maintain, no shampooing, just mop it, broom it, go on about your business. And it brightened up the Media Center tremendous as well. This is Stanfield. So we had several classrooms to where we had to modify that had carpet in them. And the carpet was starting to get some age on it. But our EC department is going to utilize more spaces in those rooms, so we wanted the carpet out. So we took the carpet out, put VCT in, and that was done over this summer as well. So we went to South Stanley High School this summer, and you have to do it during the summertime because it's a big undertaking. So we changed out 100% of the building into ADA acceptable faucets. So we'll try to build on that every year and do more and more as we can. We have to take wings now that kids are back in schools because we can't shut the bathrooms down for my guys to be in there doing the work. So we went and installed those faucets all in South Stanley High. So here's South Stanley Middle School. So South Stanley Middle School, we have lost our 240-ton chiller. We have worked on it. It was one of the chiller units that we had tried to replace last year, but just with the dollar amount of funding we had in capital, we just couldn't do it. So this year it has give out on us. And currently right now we have 2 rented 120-ton chillers sitting there right now to provide AC to the building for the kids starting of the school year. We're actively working on getting the chiller replaced, but that is not something that's sitting at Walmart. It is something that takes time for us to get. So, but they're running, they're cool. They say the building's cooler than it ever has. Albemarle Middle School. So we wanted to go in this year at Albemarle Middle School and do a lot of painting on the inside. So that is the main corridor area, and if you go down each hallway wing, right there out of the center, we have went in and repainted the walls, brighten it up, give it a cleaner look, make it look better. And that's from the roof, from the acoustic ceiling all the way to the floor. We have repainted every bit down the hallways and down the wings. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we sitting at with DOT for Indy?
So the DOT for Indy, so I received, we had to fill out an easement package from the Board of Education and from us for them to have a new easement go in. So right now we're very close to getting ready to bid that project. I'm going to say within a few weeks we'll be able to bid it. We have a path now, currently right now we have a plan in place for the kids going into school, and we think our plan is pretty strong. And so we feel confident in it. We have a plan A that we're going to operate on. Then we're going to have a plan B if we have to go back. But we should be able to get the circulation done with our plan until we get the new driveway in.
Are we still thinking completion December, or we won't know until the bidding?
We won't know until the bidding,
Thank you.
because you get into October, rainy season, so guys will build that in their package. Anybody else?
Madam Chair, I had a question.
Oh.
Do we get a final cost on the Indy edition? I know I've had a couple of people ask me, a couple of commissioners wanting to know a final cost on everything once. And you may not have that number with you right now, I know that.
I can tell you our savings. I can tell you where we
Okay,
finished out.
I'll take that.
So we finished out at $69,000 below the bid price. So we have $69,000 coming back to us.
Anything else?
If I can ask a question to that then. So because of the issues with DOT, when was that cost included into the Indy expansion with what we needed to do with DOT, or was that completely separate?
That was completely separate.
Okay.
Separate project.
And was that accounted for at all whenever we started the Indy expansion?
That was before my time.
That's a
Ms.
separate
Solomon.
project, has to be bidded out
It's separate,
separately.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're two different projects.
Yeah.
Correct, but what my question is when we went to look at doing the Indy expansion, was that ever thought about having to do as part of the Indy
I
expansion?
think she's asking about removing the traffic off of the road. I think it was maybe brought up, but I don't know that it was a part
it
of
was
that
never in-
project.
It wasn't a part of the project. It
Yeah.
was talked about, it wasn't a part of the bidding project.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out the timeline, because obviously if you do an expansion, you try to get the workings of the road, because we knew the road was an issue. And that's basically what question I had, was cost and why it took so long.
As
And I
far as
think
the road?
An answer to that too was Mr. Benton came in on the tail end of, everything had already been started.
Yeah, that.
You walked in.
Yeah,
to
the
when they
plans were ready to be designed and bid. They were
That
designed.
question wasn't directed towards you.
Okay,
No, so that's not relevant. It was more directed towards the board.
okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think anything moves super quickly with DOT, so.
No, ma'am, it does not.
It's a slow process. I
So-
just like to.
Great job, Mr.
Yes,
Thank you.
great job. I am so impressed with everything that y'all were able to get accomplished this summer. Those pictures are amazing. Like, I am looking forward, Madam Chair, when we do school visits,
Yes.
to seeing all this. Looking at Albemarle Middle, just how beautiful that looks with the painting. And thank you for adding the gold back into West Stanley High School.
The staff wanted it as well,
Right.
so several of them
And I
asked for
think
it.
there's probably a lot of alumni out there who are going to be very, very excited about that.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely, thank
way
you.
With the black paint
Yeah.
that we see everywhere in the gyms and the hallways. And the green and gold at West is definitely refreshing for those of us who are alumni.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, if he will, just for 1 second, because I know this is going to come up, because there's certain projects that were done in the summer, and I know that there's a lot of projects that have been put in. Will you, for the public, just kind of go over why we do certain things in the summer, and that there's a list that other schools are going to get upgrades as it goes? If you'll just touch on that for a second, Mr. Min.
Well, most of the time when we do these big capital projects, they impact so much. You take the chiller project, that's shutting down a wing of a building until we get it fired right back up. Well, we don't want to do that with kids in the building. As far as just as simple as we look at it as being simple, but the faucets being in the restrooms, we don't want to put our guys in situations trying to do that work while kids are in the building. And then you take painting jobs, that's just impossible to even try when you have kids in building, especially when you get into elementary schools. You can hang all the wet paint signs you want to, they're going to touch it. And then the flooring jobs, they're impossible. So there's a lot that goes into it as far as planning and trying to track them to where they fall the right way and be done. Most of these jobs, you're looking at just the chiller job, it's almost 30 weeks before it's delivered. So you have to plan a lot in advance.
And I know you have an ongoing list for the other schools.
It's very big.
As we work down it. But that's kind of what I was alluding to, that take it one little step at a time, and we're working down our
Correct.
improvement list. But
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Benton, the chiller, I think was that Richfield?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, that's not covering what we have to do eventually with the boiler.
No, ma'am. No,
So
that's
that's
two
something
totally
that's-
different scenarios. So the boiler room right now, we're doing our work in there now. We have control guys in there currently trying to get the boiler fired up and be ready. But are you referencing to Richfield's boiler or West End's?
Yes, and when we had that flood and all that
Right.
rain.
So it burned up all our controls. The boiler completely went under saturated water. The boiler's in good condition, but all the components around it are bad. Your boiler, your controls, the burner that runs inside of it, it's no good. So we have to get all that replaced, and we're actively working on it now. We had to put a new hot water heater in. It floated, broke, just all that. But we've addressed somewhat of the issues that have been ongoing for many years. We've brought in and we put new pumps in. We've made vaults bigger, got the water away from the building as best we can.
And that has been going on for many years. I know my husband was talking about it when he was there.
Yeah.
That was an ongoing problem.
Yes, ma'am. So we hope we have it addressed now. We feel confident.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Benton.
Thank y'all.
Thank your guys also for all their hard work.
Yes,
during the
ma'am, I sure
summer.
will.
We appreciate what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. I've had a request to do those separately, so we're going to start with the June 3rd minutes.
Madam Chair, I would move that the amended minutes of the June 3rd meeting not be approved at this time, as I believe that they are not accurately reflective of the content of that meeting. Therefore, I recommend that this be reviewed and the original minutes brought back to the board at our September board meeting.
I have a motion that the June 3rd amended minutes not be approved at this time, but be brought back to the September board meeting. Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Poplin?
I would like for those minutes and the recording of those minutes to either be typed out in their entirety and presented to every board member and/or made available so that each board member can review the recording of that meeting.
Hope you should be able to handle that for us. Okay, all right. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Those are will not be approved, and that motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to the June 26th special called budget meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I
as
haven't
presented?
moved to approve.
Do I have a second? Any discussion on those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Those are approved. Next, we have board member professional development. You should have had some attachments for those. Those were actually an AVID conference that myself and Ms. Poplin attended, but we never brought that to the board to have that approved as far as us being able to get credit for those hours. So we're basically just looking for a motion to approve the professional development hours for Robin Whitaker and Carla Poplin as presented.
I move to approve those professional hours for both Robin Whitaker and Carla Poplin as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion on those? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The motion passes. Next, we have the board management system. Dr. Dennis?
Yes, sir, our board management, your board management system, excuse me, is going to go to a different iteration of itself, and it does bring in another cost. And so I think what we need to do is, and what I would ask the board to do, unless you want to do it differently, is I can get with technology and look at this system and some other systems similar, and look at what the ROI would be as far as the cost and what the functionality is, and bring you the best product. It would, as far as we're at Blackboard now, and even though it's moving to a whole different platform, you know, obviously we would be able to keep our content rather easily. So I think we also need to look at what content integration would look like, and I should say migration into other systems. And a work session would probably be the most appropriate time to have that discussion.
Is that, may I ask a question? Madam Chair, and I guess it's directed to Dr. Dennis. I know when we go all the time to our conference in November, I always talk to them like at Sibley.
So I will say that we reached out to them
Okay.
twice, and that they've been respondent, but the person that we need to talk to has not.
Has not gotten back.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on them, but we do realize that that's a popular management system as
And
well.
are we looking at like, well, I know that Cabarrus uses Board Dogs.
Yeah.
So, and others, I guess, around us, I'm not sure what they're doing, or are you going to be also?
They'll have to do the
reaching out-
same thing as we
Are you
do.
going to be reaching out like to even other superintendents to say?
Yes.
What are y'all planning to do at this time with
Yes, ma'am.
this?
I was also saying, just, if we could have some idea of like 2 or 3 other systems, not just like 1 or 2, because I know there's got to be multiple platforms out there. I know that one always comes to conference, but there's got to be a couple of
Okay.
others, just to sort of see what's available.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get with technology, and we'll do the testing and going through it and all that, so you don't have to sit there for hours on end and do it, and we'll give you I guess, kind of synopsis of them and what's going on, and I'll definitely do that.
Well, and it will matter whether we can integrate what we have now into, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of hours going back and, you know where I'm going with that.
Well, we don't want to go back either to paper packets.
Half the time I wouldn't get
He
my,
doesn't want to have to create another login.
no, listen, half the time I wouldn't get my paper packets in the mail before the meeting, so I do not want to go back to paper packets, no thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Dr. Dennis.
thank you, guys.
Next, we have committee reports. First is Mr. Sorensen for curriculum and instruction.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We met on July 22nd. Not losing my voice, which is probably a good thing when we get to comments. But we met, and we previewed testing data, which has not been released by the states yet. But to prepare for the release in September, October, we went ahead and went over what testing data is going to be used from the state to SPG our schools. That's the letter grades, and the growth things will come out later than that. So I wanted to have the committee ready to see that data when it comes out, because it usually lands in the SNAP before people realize it. Second part of our, I'm not going to lose this voice here. Second part of the meeting was about early college planning. The Stanley Early College and Stanley STEM College are our 2 top-performing schools in the system. They outperform most of the schools in the state and are competitive with Greystone. However, because of the way the state funds early college setups and the yearly reduction in local funding, we may have to look at some hard choices with early college, putting them both under one roof, eliminating one, or eliminating both. It's something we're going to be looking at. At the end of the day, the state funds things a certain way. They give us X number of dollars, but you have to come up with Y number of dollars to keep the system afloat. And that's because it's becoming an issue as far as our man hours for our schools. So that's how I understand it. No decision's been made, no decisions on the, no options are there, but the committee's going to be looking at that over the next few months about making the 2 more efficient, if you will. And that was our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sorensen. Next, we have personnel, Ms. Carla Poplin.
Yeah, Personnel Committee met on July 22nd at 9:30. We went into closed session for some personnel matters, and the only item that was discussed in open session by the committee was the selection of the evaluation rubric for Dr. Dennis, and we will be sending that to the full board to get that done, and then our next meeting has not been scheduled at this time, so that's all I have.
I have a question for Ms. Poplin. Is that,
Yes, ma'am.
is that going to come online, or if we can request hard copy, can we do it on a hard copy?
Yes, ma'am, you can do it either way. As soon as Dr. Dennis gets us all of his stuff, he has a set amount of time in
Okay.
general statute, and then we have a set amount of time in general statute to then in turn do the evaluation and get that done.
Because I remember using this one in the past, and personally, for me, I like having the hard copy.
Okay, I can do it either way, it's fine.
I mean, that's just me. I mean, other people may want to do, the online. I just like doing the hard
I think
copy.
it's easier to compare the different levels if you have the paper there, but yes, I can do either or.
And then when I finish with the hard copy, do I turn that into Hope? Do I
Go to Ms.
turn
Hedrick.
that
I
into
think to Ms. Hedrick, yes.
Oh, Ms. Hedrick, okay.
I'll have all these instructions with it and everything. Once he gets, I have to give him his allotted time to get all his evidence and things and stuff ready for us, so.
Okay. Did you tell me he only has till tomorrow?
No, I have to give him the time it says.
Okay.
He
Thank you.
doesn't have to take it all, but I have to get it to him.
I have the stuff ready. When you approve the rubric, then I'm ready to go.
So this is coming out of committee, so we don't need a second on that, but I do need a motion to approve the superintendent's evaluation rubric as it is presented by the committee.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Any discussion on that?
Yes, so that was, yes, that counts.
Any discussion?
May
on
2nd.
that? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. So that is approved.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Poplin.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we have Policy Committee, Ms. Megan Allman.
July 22nd was a busy day. Our policy committee also met, and there were several policies, Policy 1510, School Safety, Policy 2230, Board Committees, Policy 2302, Remote Participation in Board Meetings. We were able to get and talk through a few of these, but we did adjourn due to some questions and concerns about open meeting violations and quorums. We did not have a lawyer present that day to be able to answer our questions, so we adjourned at 9:16, and we were not able to finish the duties that we needed to do. So we will be coming back around to hopefully do those next week.
I would like to request that the email that we did receive from Dean Shatley, our attorney, and also Mark Louder, our attorney, be attached to those policy committee minutes.
That was not discussed during the meeting.
No, but it is a rebuttal to that, so we can amend those minutes if you want to, but I feel like that this email is important to go with those minutes,
Okay.
since it answers the question of the quorum.
Can we have discussion? Okay. I would actually like for those emails to be included into the policy just as extra information, because I also have some added information that I will be bringing to the committee as far as ex officio roles, and how there are actually no other boards in the county that adhere to that, because what would be the point of a committee? We have a full board meeting at this meeting then. So there are concerns, so I would like for all of that to actually be included so we can have discussion on that.
All right, thank you so much.
Is there any clarification on minutes and what's actually discussed being attached or additions being attached? Because I was informed that we can't attach anything that wasn't actually discussed in the committee meeting prior to today, and now we're wanting to attach things that were not discussed in the committee.
Mark, would there be a way to handle that, to have those minutes, those emails included, or do you even see a reason for us to do that? Since we asked you for an opinion on that also.
Is one of those emails one for me?
It is. It is.
Answer your question, you as a board can decide what you want in those minutes. So I don't know any prior discussions of what should be included or should not, but you as a board can take a vote and determine what you want or what you want to exclude from certain minutes, even committee minutes.
I guess what we as a board need to decide, since it technically was not included in the committee notes, or it happened in the committee, we received the email almost a week later, is there some sort of a way that we can have that as an attachment, or where it's not included in the minutes, but there's an attachment when we pull it up on board docs here?
The board can decide what they want to attach to any particular set of minutes.
Okay, I would say,
You can do that now.
Right.
You choose.
Right. We have done that before. I kind of go back to a previous situation where I think Ms. Poplin had a conversation with an attorney, and we asked questions. We got an email back from him, and we actually included that with those minutes, just so there was some documentation that answered some of those questions.
But if there's an issue, my point is,
Right.
you can vote Well,
Just need a motion
include it.
to attach those emails to those minutes.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, as long as it's not, I would move to have an attachment, so that, because it's technically not in the minutes, but if we can have an attachment to go back and
It's
reference.
not included in the minutes. but
Correct.
It would be attached.
So however, we need to word that. So I move,
Make a motion to add those attachments to the minutes.
To the
Include
minutes.
with the minutes.
yes, yes.
right. Okay, so I have a motion to do that. Do I have a second?
A second for discussion.
Any discussion?
Yes. I want to make sure that in that motion, or whether I have to amend the motion, that also the information that Ms. Almond has secured also be attached.
We wait and do that once she presents that to us. Okay. Mr. Sorensen?
Ms. Whitaker got some clarification, and then I think after Ms. Whitaker's email and clarification, Ms. Almond sought out some additional clarification. I want to make sure all of the documents are all attached. Yeah.
Right now, we're only talking about just the two, which would be the one from Dean Shatley and also Mark Louder. And then if Ms. Almond has some additional information, we can vote on that at a later date. So now we are just voting on those two attachments. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Okay, those will be included. Thank you so much. Next, we have auxiliary services, Mr. Dutney.
Okay, tonight I bring to you our 25-26 school year school fees that has been submitted to the Finance Department for your approval. You'll see that most of the schools are all listed, as well as the district fees that all schools are responsible for collecting. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask now.
Mr. Dudney, this may actually be a question for Mr. Benton, but the parking lot fee the kids are paying for, does that go to the whole parking lot or just the student parking lots? The maintenance and repair of that?
To my knowledge, is that just the student parking? That's just for student parking.
And I had a question on senior fees. I noticed they vary quite a bit from one high school to the other. Is that,
To my understanding, the variation of that is, the schools, the high schools that have the lower fee are leaving it up to the actual individual students to purchase their own caps and gowns through Jostens instead of it going through the school system.
okay.
Can we go back to the parking lot fee?
Yes, ma'am.
Those funds actually stay at the school.
Yes.
They don't actually come to the county, and they're not actually used for the parking lot. It's
Yes.
basically they're buying passes to be able to park.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions about school fees? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the 25-26 school fees as presented. Have a motion, do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I would just like to say, I wish that all the high schools would decide on the same thing, just to make it easier. I know we get a lot of questions about that.
Yes.
Not against what they have, but I wish they would
They are different in different.
get together and come up with a set number.
Right, I understand that. Okay, so a motion and a second, and we've had discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Those are approved.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Benton, South Stanley Middle School chiller rental agreement.
Okay, so, you see in your board docs, in renting the chiller for South Stanley Middle, to where they'll have air conditioning is gonna cost us about $13,701 a month until we get the new chiller in. So that's what it's gonna cost to rent it?
Let me say as a caveat too, I rented the first month because it was under the threshold for
Correct.
which I could rent. If I wouldn't have rented that chiller, the mold would have exploded, it would have been nasty, I wouldn't have been able to work in the school, so I really didn't have a choice.
No.
But you guys are gonna have to approve for us to keep using it until we can get the chiller, everything designed and.
Correct.
I guess, whoever whoever does all the engineers and everything,
Right.
and then get the unit in.
Our backs was against the wall, so we had to get a chiller sitting there very quick. I had one sitting in Charlotte, called Train, they had one sitting, and it was pretty much a plug and play. So I told them to bring it. The initial cost, the first was $19,000, for setup was $19,881. But we, like Dr. Dennis said, we didn't want mold growing in the building. It wouldn't take it long in the hot summertime.
Plus, it was so hot at the time, they couldn't work in the building.
No. We sent them to South Stanley High School in the current time till we had it fired up in 3 days.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question? Do we have any idea what the timeline on a new one might be?
So roughly, I do have some information on it. We've trying to work on it. Roughly, a timeline's going to be about 30 weeks for it to be delivered. We would prefer to go with a Train unit because all your unit ventilators and everything hook right back up. We have options that we've explored, and Mr. Dudney and myself have talked about some of the options. We can get it engineered and designed, and there's also, I have documentation that got delivered to me today that Stanley County has been a Omnia partner since 2003, which it's a program that you buy big ticket items like this through.
Well, another thing too, we'll need the chiller for 3 more months, correct, Keith?
Correct. We're going to need it till we switch over
We'll
to
probably
heat.
switch over in November.
We're going to have it sitting there and operating.
Are you requesting that we approve this?
Yes, ma'am.
For the
I'm-
next 3 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Not just a monthly?
Correct.
thing?
I'm requesting for you to approve it until, we typically switch over about November 15th is going to be generally about our timeline to when we switch over.
So we're looking just shy of $100,000,
Um,
if I did my math in my head correctly.
yeah. And a new chiller's going to run you about $290,000 to purchase. That's not hooking it up, that's not the contractor, that's not the crane, because you're going to have a crane to set it. And that will have to be up and running before next year. So, I'm asking for you to approve the rental agreement of this.
All right, so we're looking for a motion to approve the rental agreement as presented for the South Stanley Middle School chiller rental. I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I have a second. Any other discussion?
Sir?
The ballpark, can you guess, I know it's a guess, but guesstimate what this rental's gonna cost, probably, you're talking about 30 weeks and then 3 months.
Well, we'll return the chiller, till around November 15th when we'll switch over to heat. Generally, that's when it falls. So then we'll allow Train to pick up the chiller at that point. Once we know we're in the heating season and won't need it, we'll run on boilers at that point. So $13,700 over 3 months, August, September, October, November.
That's what I wanted, just an idea of what we're really looking at.
36.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
not 30 weeks in.
No,
Okay,
no,
so that's different.
no, it's 30 weeks
That's
to.
what I thought I heard too.
Oh, okay. It's 30 weeks to get a new chiller.
Okay.
Right, from the time we say go, it's 30 weeks.
12 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's like 41 something. If,
I'm sorry, yeah, 12 weeks, right? 12 times 7. Divided by 30.
I'm gonna let him.
I should have had that number. I'm sorry, Ms.
For
Poplar.
about $38,000 plus the setup, that,
Right.
like, extra $5,000, so
Yeah.
roughly $43,000.
Okay, I said 41, but.
Yeah.
Doing it fair.
Calculation, it was over $50,000.
Yeah.
That's why I had Dr. Dennis to bring it to y'all attention. So it wouldn't look like he was approving a $50,000 purchase.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that?
Just once we're done with this, we then still have, I want to make sure that people understand, once we're done with this, we still have to purchase a chiller. Yes.
We'll come back.
Correct. And just food for thought, this chiller is the same age as West Stanley Middle's, Albemarle's. So they last you about 20 years, and that's it.
And did you not have to do some work on North Stanley Middle this past summer?
We did.
And I feel like Central's somewhere in there too.
Central's is about the
Yeah.
same.
They're together.
So there's numerous schools, but this is going to be ongoing very soon.
And why am I thinking of South Stanley High School?
South Stanley High,
I thought there was
That-
some,
there was a boiler issue there, but we have that fixed.
okay, not a chiller.
Not a chiller. Those are a lot of barred units that hang on the side of the building, so it's completely different.
But you are going to have a lot of chillers that are going to go out in a very small amount of time.
Yeah. And it's a 240-ton chiller. So,
Okay. So we have
I
a
need-
motion and a second. We've had discussion. Dustin, you have something? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure, so a new chiller is about 300 grand
just to purchase it.
just to purchase it, and we've got several coming up. We were allocated less capital excluding Indy, but $4 million for this fiscal year. So partial roof was $750 at West Stanley. So if we've got, what, 5 chillers to replace?
Yes.
So half the budget approximately at some point on 4 million is going to be taken up just on chillers alone. So when we think about all the maintenance that you did over the summer, all the other facility upgrades that are needed, renovations, updates, we're just putting Band-Aids on things, essentially. That's
Essentially.
my opinion on it, but I just want to make sure the math is right.
I hope that's not the building next door again. Yeah, can somebody check?
Set up all that's going to take for 5 chillers, we're upwards of $2 million.
Yeah, and the biggest ticket item on these chillers is the compressors, components of it. And once you get into replacing them, that's what happened at South, is we had lost several compressors. We replaced the compressor. Well, the oil that's in the compressor goes down the line. So then it starts taking all of them out. And the compressors are about $55,000 a pop. So
And which schools were those?
that was currently South's down, but it's West Stanley, it's going to be North, and it's going to be Albemarle. And then
4 high
Central
schools.
has one, middle schools. Middle schools.
Middle schools.
And then Central has one sitting on the roof that we've been having issues for over a year now.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to vote this time, y'all. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. So all those in favor of the motion to approve the rental agreement as presented, say aye. All opposed, no. That is approved.
All right, so,
Mr. Benton?
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
next, too.
all right. So our next item on there is West Stanley High School's boiler. So we lost West Stanley High School's boiler back in December, and currently we have finally designed it, received bids. So we heated the building off a boiler that is half the size of your main boiler. We got it back running, and we heated the building for the entire heating season last year. Now I'm coming to you tonight to request that you accept and approve the bid for Armstrong to replace the boiler for us, and they're waiting on our decision. It's I'll get my notes. $128,693.
Looking for a motion to approve the West Stanley High School boiler bid to Armstrong Mechanical Services in the amount of $128,693, and that is as presented. Do I have that motion? Do I have a second? Okay. Any discussion on that, or any questions for Mr.?
I have a question. Now, where is Armstrong?
Armstrong's located in Harrisburg.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I just knew some of the others that's on here. And I guess I get back to, we must accept the lowest.
You better have some serious documentation before
Okay.
you don't accept the lowest bid.
Okay, okay.
Have they done work for us before, Mr. Benton?
Currently, not to my knowledge.
See, and this, I guess this is my question, is my concern, is I know how much work Garmin has done for us, and just recently too, as well. But that was my question. I didn't know them, and,
There are other considerations in the general statute. I don't have it in front of me, but it's not just simply the lowest bid.
Right.
There are other factors in there that have to be considered. Sometimes in these bidding processes, what's it called when they come back with these change orders?
Correct. And two, you consider their weeks that it takes them to do the work. That's one of your biggest one. You know, you look at how much it's going to cost, but then you also evaluate their time.
well, has all that been evaluated? Because I see that the next lowest bid is Garmin. And Garmin has done so much for us, and they're local.
Correct.
And I hear that quite often, we do as a board, we want to employ our local people. So, again, everything that you have just said, have you explored how long it's going to take? How long is it going to take Armstrong to complete something compared to what Garmin would complete it?
Yes, so we've explored that. I spoke with the engineer about it. We have talked to Mr. Bob about it. And there was some reasons why we didn't go with Mr. Garmin on this one, and he's well aware of that, and he's in agreement.
Okay.
He currently do a lot of work for us. He is a big help to this school system. And so we had some conversations. Mr. Garmin's good with it, so he understands. I don't feel that you have any worries. I can say that.
Any other discussion?
What was the timeline, do you know? Did you
For-
say that?
For Armstrong, it was 16 weeks from the time, 20 weeks from the time that we have signed the contract.
Okay.
All right, have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. That is approved. Thank you, Mr. Benton.
Thank you.
Next, we have personnel. Ms. Lydia Hedrick.
Good evening, Board. This evening, for your review, I have presented the entire personnel agenda for August 5th, 2025. Section 1 does not require any action. It is simply for your information. However, I would respectfully request approval of Section 2, which does require your approval this evening.
I move to approve Section 2 of the personnel agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Those are approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hedrick. Next, we have comments. Mr. Louder, do you have anything for us tonight?
I have just a few things as you requested. The quickest thing that's going to happen in the school system is August the 15th. You are now required to publish on your website a list of information about central office employees. And I'm sure that's all been done, and included is a breakdown of the funding sources in addition to the total compensation, and including extra reimbursements for travel, et cetera. And that's a now legal requirement. As you are painfully aware, the budget has not been passed by the legislature. However, in HB 125, they did pass a continuing budget operation, which is basically, I would characterize that as priming the pump. They allocated a little over $1 billion from the lottery and designated it to quite a few things. I'm sure Mr. Dudney could get into the weeds with you as to how that's going to go. But basically, there's money that's going to be coming. When school starts, we don't know what the cap is because we don't have a budget yet. So that's all I can tell you about the money. In addition to that, I can tell you what has passed. HB 193, the firearm law revisions, that was vetoed by the government but was overridden by the legislature, and that increases punishments related to threats and assaults against local elected officers, which includes y'all. HB 378, it has various educational law items in it, and one of the things that you have to do beginning next year, August 15th, 2026, is start submitting a report annually on technology devices, and that is specifically how many do you have, how many are broken, how much does it cost to fix, and the amount that you are requiring to replace the devices. I assume this is all designed for future budget purposes. And again, that doesn't happen until next year. HB 805, prevent sexual exploitation of women and minors. That was vetoed by the government but was overridden. That requires specific definitions of biological sex and gender identity, apply to all administrative rules, regulations, and public policies that we have. It also expands the duties of you as a board to include excusing students with religious objections and allowing parents access to library books. It requires you to adopt policies to provide ongoing public access through a searchable web-based catalog on the homepage of your website to the titles of library books. And it requires you to adopt a policy that prohibits students from allowing or sharing sleeping quarters with a member of the other biological sex. The next thing that has passed is HB 959, and that is various educational things related to IT. I'm just going to say that it's passed, and I can get into the weeds in that not very well because I'm not an IT person. But you are going to have to establish a policy, which I believe you're very aware of, regarding the wireless communications, which would prohibit students from using, displaying, or having devices turned on during instructional time. And so that has to be in place. The key part of that is that has to be in place by January 1st of 2026. So you basically have just a few months to discuss that and put that in policy. So I hope y'all are working on that, because I know you're aware of it. The other thing that changed is Senate Bill SB 77 passed. For those students who have an IEP, you now must assign the parent's choice of nurse to provide nursing services. But let me say this: it has at the minimum 4 strict requirements before you have to do that. So, and I'm not going to go into all that, because that's only people that have children with IEPs are obviously concerned. This does have a big change in what's going on now, and it is important. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that you need to look at that, although the school system has strict certain guidelines to follow when doing that. So you're going to be in good shape if you just follow the rules. The other thing, SB 118, Military and Veterans Support Act, this basically provides flexibility for students and military families. It helps them and also helps you in making sure these students are where they're supposed to be, they're in school at the appropriate time, and where they're supposed to be, depending on where their parents are, either they're coming or going or that sort of thing. And it really gives you a lot of flexibility, and it helps and assists them. The other thing, SB 375, which is called Harrison's Law, that passed, and it modifies the definition of hazing, and it increases penalties for hazing by a student to a Class A1 misdemeanor. And if there's a violation by school personnel, that changes to a Class 1 felony. The other thing which I find of interest is that SB 391, it's called the DOT Omnibus, and that requires you now to secure a criminal history check before contracting with a person to provide transportation services to students. And the interesting part of that is that, although that's the requirement part, it allows you to require the individual to pay for that check or fingerprinting. It's your option. So that's going forward. The other thing that passed was SB 416. It's called the Personal Privacy Protection Act. That was vetoed by the governor, and was overridden, and that prohibits public agencies, which you're included, from collecting, disclosing, or releasing personal information about members, volunteers, or donors to nonprofit organizations that might be seeking that information. So those are just a few of the things that are highlighted that have come down the pike, actually just very recently.
Thank you, Mr. Louder. Any board members have any comments? Go ahead, Mr. Sorensen.
Everybody's wishing for that voice to go ahead and quit. Gonna be quickie tonight, I promise. Two things. We'll start out with a thank you to our teachers, our admins, bus drivers, cafeteria, and custodian staffs. They're already hitting the ground running. School starts next week. And we got staffs all over the county meeting and getting ready for that. And I appreciate them. And I know I know some are already stressing, but they're gonna be fine. We got amazing staffs. And the second thing I would say is for the children of Stanley County, you need to take advantage of every opportunity that you're given at your school. You only get one freshman year, one sophomore, you only get one. So when those athletic teams are forming up, and those clubs are forming up, the teachers want you to get involved in extra things. Do it, because you're only there one time. And trust me, it goes by so quick. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sorensen. Ms. Poplar?
I just want to start off with a congratulations to Miss Mandy Melton. That award is well deserved. She works very hard for our school system and is very dedicated to our CTE program. So I just want to congratulate her personally. I recently was able to attend the Better Stanley County Schools Community Forum on July 24th. I wanted to take a minute to thank the folks that organized that, the ones who came to listen and the ones who came to speak. It was a pleasure to hear from the people we represent and to get a good read on what's going on in our community. So thank you to those people. And I wanted to give a little shout out and another little thank you. But this past Saturday, I had the pleasure of running, I think, United Way's first ever Stuff the Bus campaign for Stanley County Schools resource room, where our county social workers then help to offer supplies to children in our school system in need. And I want to thank the school system for their partnership, and also the YMCA for their partnership in that. And give a shout out to a special person in the back of the room who helped me out that day. Miss Jennifer Hogan drove the bus for us that day and sat with us in the rain all day. So she deserves a pat on the back, Dr. Dennis, for that, because that was not the most pleasant event to sit through. But no, she braved the rain with us, and we were able to collect a lot of supplies for the county's kids. And I know that the social workers will put those to good use, so I wanted to thank everybody involved in that. On another note, as a board member, I'm still very displeased with behavior and attitude of some of our board members when it comes to ethics, conduct, and the spirit of the law and policies and procedures we have laid out as a board. I will continue to stand up for what I believe is right, ethical, and in the well and best wishes and interests of the children and this community's constituents. I hope that this next week is a wonderful time with our kids for back to school. Those first days are always exciting for students, and a huge shout out to staff and admin who've gotten their rooms and buildings all spruced up and ready for back to school nights. I know that our teachers and staff work really hard on that, and I want to personally wish all of our students and staff a wonderful school year. And also thank you to those who came to speak tonight. I know Kat's really passionate about the Veterans Day, so I appreciate her bringing that to our attention and also involving our students in that art contest. So thank you.
Any other comments from board members?
I do.
Gibson?
First of all, I want to tell the young man sitting out there with the cowboy boots and the hat on that what a pleasure it was to see him come in, sitting there. Yippee-ki-yay. Okay. Hope you have a great school year. Congrats also to Ms. Melton, and thank you, Mr. Benton, for what you shared tonight and all the hard work. Please tell your department, everyone that, is noticeable, and we are so appreciative. Also, and I know some of you know this, but we have had some of our teachers that have lost some close family members. One who has recently lost their mother, and so my heart just goes out to There's many, I think, in our community that they are going through some difficult times with losing some people in their family. I do have this to say, as we open a new school year, I always feel the excitement. It's always exciting. Because it's a new slate, it's like writing the first page of a new story with all different characters and personalities that as a teacher you will watch firsthand the character transformations of your students from the first day till the last day. I pray for our teachers, our staff, our students, and our parents. Thank you, teachers, for your smiles, your words of encouragement, your creative lessons that come alive each day in the eyes of a child. Teachers, remember, you were called for this, and thank you for accepting that calling. Know that you are loved, you are supported, and you are appreciated. I pray for protection over our schools, each classroom, each bus ride. I pray for our parents that feel like they're juggling a million things one time, at a time. One being their career, helping with homework, running their child from ball games, practices, to gymnastics, to so many other events. I pray that this school year be not only a year of growth, but a year of friendships formed that will last a lifetime. For our county office staff, our administrators, teachers, staff, students, and parents, may God watch over you and bless you immensely, because everyone is loved and they are supported by Stanley County Schools. Thank you.
Any other comments? Dr. Dennis.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. I do want to thank the pastor and the members of Memorial Baptist Church in Norwood. I was there with the principal, and they were helping moving furniture for teachers getting their classrooms ready, and that was a big help. They had initially wanted to come out and do some landscaping, but Mr. Benton has had some landscaping opportunities across the district, and I also appreciate that. Mr. Benton helped spruce up some of our schools. And the last thing is, I've been in some of these teacher meetings. I was in several today, and just seeing, I like the excitement in the air as we start the new school year. I guess the unknown and the energy and electricity, and we got a great group of educators. They've been working really hard to prepare, and I want to thank all of them for what they've done thus far and what they will do this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis. I also would just like to clarify, because I know that myself and a few other board members had questions, but the Stanley County Board of Education just wants to clarify that the public forum that was held on July 24, 2025 was not sponsored, organized, or officially sanctioned by this board, and any individual board member who may have attended this event did so solely in their personal capacity, which is their right to do that, but they were not representing the board as a whole. So we just wanted to make that clear and make that statement. I also just wanted to welcome everyone back, just to say a big thank you to our staff for everything that you do. I know you're anxiously awaiting the students next week, and to the students, we just encourage you to work hard and set those high expectations and goals for yourself. To the parents, I know you're anxiously ready to get back in the swing of probably your students, your children going back to school, but we thank you for what you do and for showing up for your children every day, and also for our schools and what you do for them. We are just excited for a new school year. So with that being said, our next board meeting will be held on Tuesday, September the 2nd, 2025, and it will be held at the Central Elementary School Auditorium at 6:15. We do that because it is a holiday and the county commissioners will be using this facility here, so we have the ability to move our meeting somewhere else. And with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. We are adjourned.